everyone!
We are the Group 1 and our topic is all about fertilization. At the end of the lesson, you are expected to describe the process of fertilization, trace the path of the egg cell and the sperm cell in the female reproductive system visually during the process of fertilization with the aid of illustration, explain the capacitation and its importance in fertilization.
Understanding the existence of any form of life has been a fascinating topic since the beginning of life. And scientists have made sure that no stone is left unturned. Every living being on this planet, which result from sexual reproduction, marks the start of its journey on this planet when a female egg is fertilized with male sperm. Let's find out more about this process.
Let's have a game before we start. Within 5 seconds, all you have to do is rearrange the following jumbled words related to our topic for today. Without further ado, let's get started. Our first jumbled word is... Can you guess it? That's right, it is a sperm cell. Let's move forward to our next jumbled word, which is... Correct! The answer is egg cell. Our last jumbled word is... Excellent! The answer is fertilization. We will encounter those words in our discussion later.
What is fertilization?
What is fertilization? Fertilization is a complex, multi-step molecular process that starts with the union of the male and female pronuclei, which result in the development of the zygote and involves two highly methylated and defined haploid gametes, the spermatozoon and egg. In the next section, we will try to elaborate each step of fertilization.
But before that, let's watch this video to fully understand how the sperm cell meets the egg cell.
The journey starts during sexual intercourse. About 150 million sperm enter the vagina. Soon afterward, millions of them will either flow out of the vagina or die in its acidic environment. However, many survive because of the protective elements provided in the fluid surrounding them. Next, the sperm must pass through the cervix and opening into the uterus. Usually, it remains tightly closed, but here the cervix is open for a few days. While the woman ovulates, the sperm swim through the cervical mucus, which is thinned to a more watery consistency for easier passage. Once inside the cervix, the sperm continues swimming toward the uterus. Though millions will die trying to make it through the mucus, some sperm remain behind caught in the folds of the cervix, but they may later continue the journey as a backup to the first group. Inside the uterus, muscular uterine contractions assist the sperm on their journey toward the egg. However, resident cells from the woman's immune system, mistaking the sperm for foreign invaders, destroy thousands more. Next, half the sperm head for the empty fallopian tube while the other half swim toward the tube containing...
Here are the steps of fertilization. The first step is capacitation. The next is acrosomal reaction. The third step is polyspermy block. The fourth is completion of meiosis II. The last is the zygote formation. Let's move forward for the first step of fertilization, which is capacitation. It's a process in which sperm become hyperactivated in order to penetrate and fertilize an egg. The process takes 5 to 7 hours and accelerated by female reproductive tract substances. A number of enzymes and indicating molecules are involved capacitation, which causes changes in the sperms that lead to increased motility and preparation for interactions with the egg during fertilization. This process takes place after the sperm membrane becomes more fluid due to removal of proteins, carbohydrates, and cholesterol from the membrane, which may also result a blockage of sites that engage zona pellucida. Zona pellucida is another term for egg coat. Only sperm that is capable of passing through the corona cells and undergoing the acrosome reaction can do. So capacitation is the final stage of sperm maturation.
The parts of the egg cell are the nucleus, first polar body, cytoplasm, but there are two important parts of fertilization which are the zona pellucida and corona radiata. The zona pellucida, which is an outer membrane of the egg, this part helps the sperm to enter the egg through its hard outer layers, and the corona radiata, which surrounds an egg and consists of 2 or 3 layers of cell from the follicles. The next step is the acrosomal reaction. The acrosomal reaction is a crucial step during the gametes interaction in all species, including man. It allows spermatozoa to penetrate the zona pellucida and fuse with the oocyte membrane. Spermatozoa unable to undergo the acrosomal reaction will not fertilize intact oocytes.
The polyspermy block is the next step in fertilization. Polyspermy occurs when more than one sperm penetrates the egg. It is one of the most prevalent abnormalities in fertilization, usually ending in embryonic death. When the first sperm fuses with the egg, the oocyte employs two mechanisms to avoid polyspermy. The first mechanism is the fast block, which involves the polarization of the oocyte membrane following the binding of the first sperm cell, which this allows subsequent sperm binding to the oocyte for a brief period of time. The fast block occurs instantly and lasts approximately a minute, during which time an influx of calcium ions following sperm penetration activates the second mechanism, the slow block.
Is cortical reaction, also known as the zona reaction, occurs when a sperm unites with the egg plasma membrane, altering the zona pellucida, which prevents other sperm from binding to the toe end entering the egg. In this process, it refers to as the cortical reaction. Cortical granule sitting immediately below the oocyte's plasma membrane fuse with the membrane and release zonal inhibiting protein and mucopolysaccharides into the space between the plasma membrane and the zona pellucida.
The fourth step of fertilization is the completion of meiosis II. After ovulation, the oocyte is arrested in metaphase of meiosis II until fertilization. Once the sperm goes deep inside, the completion of meiosis II will happen. The secondary oocyte will become a matured ovum. Pronuclei are the two haploid nuclei produced from the sperm and the oocyte and contained within the egg. In preparation for mitosis, they condense, expand, and replicate their DNA. The pronuclei then travel near one another. Their nuclear envelopes dissolve, and the genetic material from male and female pronuclei combines. This phase completes the fertilization process, producing a single-celled diploid zygote with all the genetic instructions required to grow into a human.
The last step is the zygote formation. A zygote, also called a fertilized egg, is the phase of conception where the egg and the sperm join to form a single cell. The zygote contains a complete set of chromosomes with 23 from the egg and 23 from the sperm. The zygote phase lasts only about 4 days, after which the single cell splits rapidly to become a blastocyte and an embryo. It's time for a little sex ed primer. When an ovary releases an egg during ovulation, it sweeps into one of your fallopian tubes, waiting for the sperm to arrive. To encourage this, the mucus in the cervix become more liquid and elastic, allowing sperm to reach the uterus quickly. Once those sperm show up, a few hundreds will try to penetrate the egg. Only one lucky one will get in. Once it's done, the chemical change in the egg itself occurs so no one sperm can break through. And bingo! A zygote is formed. Sometimes your ovaries release more than one egg. If both become fertilized, then congrats! You got twins. These are paternal twins, meaning that while they're sharing the same age and birthday, they look at act differently because they are made from two different eggs fertilized by the two sperm.
And that is the process of human fertilization. I hope that you learned something new about our topic today. Once again, we are the Group 1. Thank you and have a wonderful day.